Hey guys, my name is Ori Koskas. I'm a real estate and financial consultant from Israel. And today I want to talk to you about what I consider today one of the best real estate investment in the world. And I'm talking about Portugal. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Israel is also one of the best investment in the world. Prices in Israel keeps going up in the last years like insane. In 2022, it went up by 20% just in 2022. But in Portugal, there's amazing phenomenon that happening right now is that they really want people from all over the world to come and invest there, and they really want to attract good and quality population. So there's many reasons why to invest in Portugal. I will go through all of them, but I will start with the main one. The main one is in Portugal today, a foreign citizen, not a local, a foreign citizen without any citizenship can get a mortgage of 75% to buy a house with the most amazing, attractive interest rate. And right now, the interest is obviously is 1% plus the Euribor index, but whenever you watch me, obviously it will change. It's changing all the time. But I can tell you about myself. I bought my apartment in my first apartment in Portugal in the beginning of 2022, and back then the Euribor index was 0.2 minus 0.2, so my interest was only 0.8% interest on a mortgage. That's insane. Now, the moment you get financial mortgage, financial help to buy an apartment, usually that's what makes it the most profitable. Let me example what I'm saying. Let's just say you bought an apartment for 150,000 euro and you only had to bring 25%, was 37,000 euro, plus expenses, tax, whatever, it's getting to 45,000 euro. Let's assume that apartment went up by 7%. Less in 2022, it went up by 15%. But let's just say 7%, a yearly average. It's going up and it's getting to 7% out of 150,000 euros, 10,000 euros. So you only brought 45. So we're talking about 20 something percent increase in our valuation in our own personal capital, not including what you're making from rent, because when you look at the monthly return on the mortgage and what you're getting from rent, usually you will get double the rent. So you also have money liquid to enjoy every month, every year, or whatever you look at it. So let's again, first of all, I want to tell you objectively, I'm from Israel. I don't have any specific sympathies for Portugal or some kind of like something that attracted me beside. I did it in a very cold investment way because I did look all over the world. My wife is American. I did learn the American market. I learned German. I learned in Greece, in North Africa, like Morocco, Dubai. I did check all over the globe for the best place to invest, and I did decided Portugal would be the last one, the best place for me. So let's talk about why to invest in Portugal. First of all, Portugal considered to be today one of the most attractive country in the world. First of all, Porto won the best tourism city of the world in 2022, the end of 2022. It's like the World Travel Awards, like the Oscars of like tourism in the world. Also, Portugal considered to be one of the most safest countries in the world. Portugal doesn't have any enemy. We're talking about the modern Western European country, very stable, great population, great for tourism, great for surfing, great culture, great education. More and more people want to live in Portugal today. They have a lot of tax benefit for people that come to live there. Also, the Portuguese people is very educated. They speak English. Most of them, obviously, the quality area, of course, like Porto and Lisbon, they speak fluent English. So that's why it's also easy to communicate with them. But again, the main reason is no doubt the financial funding for mortgages for buying a house. So let's talk about the prices in real estate. So if you look at the main two cities, I always say when you invest in other countries, look at the main cities. The main cities, like if you want to invest in the US, for example, look at New York, look at Los Angeles, look at those areas. If you want to invest in Israel as a foreign citizen, look at Tel Aviv, look at Jerusalem. If you want to invest in Portugal, you should look at Lisbon and Porto. I myself prefer Porto. The yield there, the money you're making for your rent is significantly higher compared to what you invested. And also Porto, like I said, one of the best city in the world a few months ago. So prices in Portugal in the last 6-7 years went up significantly. We're talking about 70% in total in 5 years. You can check my website. I publish it in a very organized way. 2015, 5%, 2016, 5.7, 2017, 7%. So you can see the increase. 2018, 9.7%, 2019, 11.7%, 2020, 6%, and 2021, 15.6% increase valuation of apartments. That's insane. Like I said, it's about 70%, 7% average every year. What's the return for your money? So when you look at Porto, if you buy an apartment for 150,000 euro, the minimum you should get a normal year is like about 6%. 6%, it's about 750 euro every month. 750 every month, meaning time 12, let's do the quick math, it's about 9,000 euro, okay? And more. For example, some of my clients bought an apartment for 130,000 euros that makes 800. So I'm talking about 6% minimum. But if you do with mortgage, you need to understand that half of it goes to pay the mortgage. If you're making like 800 euro monthly rent, half of it will pay a mortgage. So that's why you have to do this kind of math. But if I look how much percentage I'm making on my own personal capital, it's insane. Because let's just say you make 800 euros. Let's go back to the example of 150,000 euros I brought back from home, 25% to buying the apartment plus 7,000 euros of additional expenses. I'm like about 46,000, 45,000 euros to make a simple math. So let's just say I'm making 800 euro a month for rent. Half of it going to mortgages. We're staying with 400 euro. 400 euro times 12, we're talking about 4,800. Think about it. I only invested 45. It's more than 10% on my own personal income. But there's small letter. It's not more than 10%. It's less. Why? Because there's also taxation you need to pay in Porto. That's the disadvantage. That's the small letter when you want to buy in Portugal. When you want to buy in Portugal, Portugal taxation for income from rent is 28%. But listen to me very carefully. It's 28% from profit, not from income. You don't take 28% from 800, the 800 rent. Everything is an expense in Portugal. Like the interest you're paying for the bank, it's obviously an expense. If you fly there, if you pay the lawyer, if you eat in a restaurant, everything you consider to be an expense in your own account. That's why it's very important to understand that the good accountant there will know how to make sure that there won't be so much expenses. But make a long story short, let's just say you get the 800, half went to paying the mortgage, let's just say another 150 went to pay your taxation, you're staying with 250, again, 250 times 12, 3,000 euro, again, you only put 45,000 euros for the investment. Look at it again, you're making like 8% liquid, fluent on your return every year, not including the tens of percent of increasing the value of your personal capital. And that's why it's important to understand. Now, what do you need to do when you're buying an apartment? There's a process. First of all, you need to get yourself a NIF number. A NIF number for Americans that are watching is like TIN number. It's like the tax identity. You have to open it. You have to get a lawyer to help you with the purchase of the apartment. Usually, NIF number costs a few hundred euros, including the accountants that will do it for you. You need to get a lawyer. A normal lawyer takes in Portugal about 3,000 euros to escort you to buying an apartment there. You also need a notarized that will help you. It's another 1,000 euros because usually if you buy an apartment from Euro, you will do it in Portugal. Usually you'll do it from another country. So it's also need to. There's a lot of fees for the bank. For example, if you're taking a mortgage, you need to bring one evaluation of the mortgage to explain how much the house actually worth. It costs another 200 euros. So again, if I do the math quickly, you have to pay 3,000 euros to 2,000 euros for a lawyer, 1,000 euros for a notarized, and another 1,000 euros for traditional fees. Put this on about 4,000 or 5,000 euros. And also, you have to pay tax when you're buying. There's two tax. There's stamp tax at 0.8. You add it to the value of every house. Let's just say you bought an apartment for 100,000 euro, 0.8. That 0.8. That's the first taxation, stamp tax. The other tax called IMT. It's purchase tax. It's progressive tax. It's depending how much money actually the apartment is worth. For example, from 0 to 92,000 euros, you don't pay anything. From 92 to 127, you pay 2%. Only on that part, not for the entire amount. From 127 to 170 something, 5%, again, only for the part from between 127 to 170 something, and on and on. And that's the taxation you need to know when you're making it. As for tax on profit, I explained it's 28%. So how do you manage the apartment that you buy in Portugal? What I said is two options. I'm saying it most cases very different from the US, for example, when you really need a management companies and there's a lot of problems usually that will happen and Americans likes to sue. So in Portugal, it's very simple. It's like Israel, by the way. You don't really need a management company. If you take a management company, it will take you about 7 to 8% from the rent, and there's also been expenses. But like I said, the Portuguese people, especially if you buy in good locations with quality people, they're very simple. You can talk to them directly. There's not a lot of problems. They have a problem, you just deal with them. You tell them, like, fix it, like the way I do. I have a few apartments in Porto, and I deal with it directly with the renters. It's very simple. If there's a problem, obviously we communicate and we try to solve it. Also in Israel, by the way, I have a few assets in Israel. It's the same exact thing. If there's a problem, I'm solving it directly with the renters. It's considered to be very simple. Not very often there's a problem. And that's what you need to understand. But if you really want peace of mind and don't deal with it, go to a management company. There's a lot of them. If there's an advantage, by the way, to have a citizenship, Portugal citizenship, to buy an apartment in Portugal, not really. Only if you live in Portugal, there's an advantage. But if you are foreign, like if not living in Portugal, but you have a citizenship of Portuguese, doesn't give you any help. So I think it's very important if you decide to do this kind of a deal and do investment in Portugal, to first of all, to learn the market very well. Secondly, for the first time you do it, my advice is don't do it by yourself. Go to a company and it will take you and help you do the entire process from the beginning to the end, because there is a lot of work to do, like a lot of bureaucracy and regulation that you need to deal with. You need somebody that will help you to open the NIF number, the TIN number, to help you open a bank account, to help you get the mortgage, to help you find a good asset under the value of market. You want to buy something good. By the way, middlemen in Portugal, brokerage, real estate brokerage in Portugal, don't take commissions from the buyers. That's why it's very good and very smart and recommended to go use those brokerage, to go find good deals. You don't have to pay them anyway. I'm working with a few brokerage in Portugal, real estate brokerage. They're doing amazing. And also the most important thing is to get your own lawyer that you can trust. They will examine the deal from side to side, to do due diligence before you buy an apartment, to make sure it's legit and there's not an office or something like that. And also, obviously, to find a good renter, to make sure the rent is, again, not under value of market value. And if there's a problem, obviously, to be connected to him. I just want to let you know that I myself is obviously a management company, a real estate consultant. I give those kind of services to buy an asset in Portugal from the beginning to the end, including everything. So if you want to buy an apartment in Portugal, if you consider to do that, I highly recommend that you Google about me. My name is Ori Koskas. I have a PhD in business, and I would love to talk to you and see how we can help you. That's everything involving it. I also wrote a lot of information about buying an apartment in Portugal. You can write investing in Portugal, Ori Koskas. You will find a lot of content that I wrote about it. Thank you so much.